Good Saturday morning, PCS Nation family, sitting under the overpass of the train tracks today because it's raining and wet. Although in the high 60s, which is nice, but it's going to be kind of soupy sitting down by the river. So I'm here under the overpass, Popham Avenue Bridge, which is the main east to west travel artery across this unconscionably wealthy little splat on the map. And what we give up in organic ambience of being by the river, we gain in lovely acoustics. I don't know if it's coming through in the recording, but it sounds nice sitting here underneath. Two odd brainish, kind of off the beaten path from conventional shit we're talking about throughout the week occurred to me this morning. One was kind of triggered, not triggered in the sense of the word in 2023, what it means about like some mealy little weenie little lefty triggered. Just it triggered, which is actually, I see, that's one of those words like literal or literally or just, you can't use the fucking word in its legitimate form because some idiot like AOC overused it and everybody made fun of it. So like you can't use that. That's one of those words right there. Anyway, I totally forgot everything I was going to say. So we should start over. I should just start over. So I'm not going to do that. I'll get back on the path of things. Two things caught my attention from this week that were a little off the radar. And I just didn't get spit out, although I'd thought about them. Oh yeah, I remember what it was. Getting triggered. I didn't get triggered like a little fucking puss cookie lefty. I got triggered because I saw something, and that's like a legitimate use of the word triggered. It triggered my memory to remember a memory. You know what I mean? Yeah, there you go with those acoustics. Anyway, and the second thing was just random bullshit. So this is going to be 15 minutes, and I didn't even get fucking started yet. Thing number one, that Jacob Chansley, the QAnon shaman, got released from prison early. And I didn't make a big hoopla about it. And that's what I got triggered on because I was just watching the video today of Tucker Carlson talking about in the aftermath of him showing the videos and kind of showing that this guy wasn't really doing anybody any harm and all that. And probably that helped along with getting him out of jail, which is fine. What happened to him sucked. It completely sucked, and it was completely wrong, and people should be held to account for it. Getting back to the train of thought though, I didn't get hyped about this because I'm having a tough time really putting this guy out there and saying, hey, good for him. And because at the end of the day, although he was gravely wronged by his own government and the bullshit that they pulled on him, I just don't think there's any good reason for a guy with his body painted up, wearing a horned Viking helmet and carrying a flagpole to be walking unquestioned through the Capitol building at any time. It just doesn't seem like an appropriate thing, while it might be certainly within the realm of his constitutional rights to do so. I don't think it's probably not the right thing to do. And you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the rules are. Like, is there a rule against a guy like this just wandering around the building willy-nilly, like whatever? It's the guy was not an innocent guy. Like, there should be some accountability for going into the Capitol building dressed up like that and just causing a disturbance of the daily normal routine and running of things. Okay, so that's a little bit of an issue, and I don't think this guy should be made a hero for this. He didn't hurt anybody. It was bullshit what they did to him, and it was completely offensive what they did to him. This is the measuring stick, though, that I ask you, because I know probably people are not going to like that I just said that, and that's okay. That's fine. There's comments down below. Go for it. The measuring stick is, if this guy was a Democrat protesting like Trump being elected in 2024, and he went into the Capitol building dressed like that, no matter what he did while he was in there, what would you be saying about him? How would you be thinking about him? And that's the thing you always apply. I do that a lot with a lot of things. Like, I'm not gonna go jump up and cheerlead for something that I would go after and mock the opposition for if they did the exact same thing. And that's just the measuring stick. I'm glad he's out of jail. Jacob Chansley got screwed by the government 100%. I'm glad he's out of jail. I think he's a fucking weirdo. I think he's a little odd. And I think if he was a Democrat, I'd be mocking him and making fun of him and saying this guy should be fucking put away, which is maybe a little hyperbolic, but not entirely untrue of a representation of how I would feel about him were he an unhinged left hole instead of on your team, on our team, on my team. That's the measuring stick, and that's why I'm not jumping up and down and cheering for this guy being out. I'm glad he's out of jail. He got screwed. Some justice was done. A piece of his life was handed back to him, and that's all cool and well and fine. But I'm just not all into making this guy a hero. He's not. He's a fucking guy who probably could use a few sessions on a couch somewhere. And that's all I have to say about that. The other thing I'm just going to do quick, because we already ran long. It's weird. The acoustics are making me talk more, maybe. I don't know. I feel more calm and relaxed, and I just feel like talking. But I can't, though, because I got to go to work. Second thing, the progressives, wokesters, and what they're doing to this kid, Dylan Mulvaney, which, you know what? I'm not going to even make fun of him in the context of today. I'll get back to that later. You can be assured. You can see this kid is popping up all over the place. This broken guy is popping up all over the internet and Twitter and everything, and they have him going everywhere and hooking up with this women's clothing company and jumping in a lake holding hands with a guy wearing a women's bikini, and every time you see him, you can see the madness in his eyes. You could see, I don't know, maybe it's just me, you know how that shit goes, there's a lot of that, but you just see it in his eyes. This kid's gonna snap eventually. He's gonna break, he's gonna blow up, and you know what, you're not gonna see him anymore. That's really gonna be the ultimate ending of that. And I ask you to recall, when's the last time you ever heard of another much earlier prototype, sort of, if you will, tool of the progressives, Chelsea Manning? You haven't heard from her in a long, long time. They sure had her out there in the forefront and on the internet and in your phones every single day when he was fresh and new and just sporting his new titties and his new Taylor Swift haircut and makeup. They had him all over the place. You kind of wonder now, a couple of years later, how's he doing? Because they don't talk about him much anymore. And I see that happening here because they don't give a fuck about Dylan Mulvaney, really. Like, they're just kind of putting him on TV and say, wow, this is a golden opportunity for us to help forward this agenda of ours, whatever the fuck it is. It's insane, but let's go. And we have a really good tool for that, so let's use it for as long as we can and enjoy this ride. And at the end of the day, I think Dylan Mulvaney's gonna not be all happy and smiley like that when he's jumping off the dock in the bikini holding hands with the big burly guy. I don't think he's going to be feeling that way at the end of the day. Anyway, like I said, they were weird things. They were off the kind of path, maybe conventional thinking of what's gone on and what's going on and what we're in the middle of. But you know what? It's fucking the weekend. It's weekend mode. Who knows what the fuck I'm going to say? So I just threw those out there. Maybe it's interesting and compelling. Maybe it's just like, fuck this guy. Let's go watch fucking cartoons instead. Whatever. My love for you doesn't hinge on whether you agree with me or not. So I do love you, and I thank you for your support here on PCS Nation on Substack. And I'm savoring these lovely echoey acoustics. Whether you can hear them or not, you probably can't because it's just a shitty, dumb smartphone. But I appreciate you, and I thank you for your support, and we will talk throughout. You know what? Just perpetually unprofessional me. I should have said this at the beginning. I don't know what's going to happen on Facebook today. If nobody from Facebook's seeing this, so fuck them. But yeah, we'll talk throughout the day. Facebook, that's sketchy because Linda's taking a break this weekend, which she deserves because she's a queen and she works really hard and takes a lot of shit off of me. So, Linda, enjoy your weekend. Everybody else have a great day, and we'll talk later.